Hannah and the Ramadan Gift, written by Qasim, Rashid and illustrated by Aaliya, Jaleel. When her Dada John gently shook her awake, Hannah opened her eyes, confused by the darkness. The sun hadn't even risen yet. But then she saw her grandfather smiling down at her. She remembered. "Ramadan Mubarak!" shouted Hannah, jumping out of bed. Hannah had been counting down to the first day of Ramadan, the holy day of fasting for Muslims, and now it was finally here. "Can I fast this year?" Hannah asked. Going from dawn to sunset without eating for a whole month seemed hard to Hannah. But now that she was 8, she was surely old enough. How proud her grandmother, Dadi John, would have been of her today. "Not yet, my dear," Dada John said. "Fasting is for grown-ups, not for growing children." "But if I can't fast, then how can I celebrate Ramadan?" "By saving the world," replied Dada John with a smile. "Hurry up now. Let's join the others for Sahri before the sun comes up." When Hannah heard Dada John's response and smelled the food of Sahri, the special breakfast of Ramadan, she forgot her disappointment. After Sahri and the morning prayer, it was time to get ready for school. "Let's stop at the soup kitchen on the way to school," Dada John said. "Why?" Hannah said. "Don't we have plenty of soup at home?" Dada John explained. "The soup isn't for us. When we fast during Ramadan, we feel hungry, and it reminds us that all over the world there are people who don't have enough food, so we must help them." "But the world has so many people. How can we help them all?" Hannah asked. "We can help our neighbors," Dada John replied, "and that's worth the world." Later that day at school, Hannah played with her friend Maria. "That's the bell. We should get back to class," said Hannah. "Wait!" cried Maria. "I lost my grandmother's necklace." "What does it look like?" "It's gold with a green gemstone. Can you help me find it?" "Let's look in all the places we played today," Hannah said. But the necklace wasn't on the basketball court or on the kickball field. "I know. Let's look in the jungle gym," said Hannah finally. And there it was. "It must have fallen off when I did that backflip. Thank you, Hannah." Hannah rushed into class after the bell stopped ringing. "Next time, please make sure you are on time," said Mrs. Holmes sternly. "But I was just—" Hannah wanted to explain, but her teacher had already started reading again. Ramadan had just begun, and already Hannah had gotten into trouble. Helping neighbors wasn't as easy as Dada John made it seem. On the 11th day, Dada John woke Hannah early before sunrise. "Should we save the world again today, Dada John?" Hannah asked excitedly. Then she remembered that today was also an important day at school, the big science fair, and she did not want to be late. "Don't worry," Dada John said. "We're up in plenty of time to stop at the shelter before we go to school. Come, let's go." "But, Dada John, the people at the shelter won't know that we're the ones who donated the clothes." "Why does it matter, Hannah?" asked Dada John. "Sometimes it's enough to help people simply out of love. Besides," he whispered with a wink, "all the best superheroes work in secret, don't they?" When Hannah got to school, she got ready for the science fair. "Amazing model, Hannah," her friend Danny said as Hannah arranged her model replica of Abbas ibn Firnas's flying machine. "Thanks," said Hannah. "What's yours?" "It's a globe showing the dates and flight for Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo around the world." "Oh, look! Maria made a robot!" Danny set his model down and ran off. "Danny, wait!" The globe was rolling off the table. Hannah lunged and caught it just before it smashed into the ground. That was close, Hannah thought. She put the globe back on the table before anyone noticed. "Danny wins!" Hannah was happy for Danny. He was a good friend, and the globe was amazing. But no one knew that Hannah had saved the day. "How was the science fair, Hannah?" asked Dada John when he picked her up. "Fine," said Hannah quietly. Why didn't she feel happy about doing the right thing? Dada John made it seem so easy. On Saturday, 20 days of Ramadan had passed. "Remember, you have a play date with Sarah," called Hannah's mother. Sarah's family had just moved into their neighborhood. "But I was gonna work on my art project today," objected Hannah. "And I don't even know Sarah." "Hannah, that's not very nice. We need to welcome new neighbors like family." "I'll make you a deal, Hannah," Dada John said. "I'll go with you, and if you're not having fun, we can leave whenever you want, okay?" "I won't have fun," muttered Hannah. But she went with Dada John anyway. They ate delicious kanafe that Sarah's mom had made. They looked at pictures of Sarah's friends from her old school. Pretty soon, they had lost track of time altogether. "Ready to go?" asked Dada John. "But we haven't finished our game," said Hannah and Sarah at the same time. When they got home, Dada John showed Hannah an old family photo album. Hannah couldn't believe what she saw. "This is from the year we moved to this place. We didn't know anyone. We didn't speak the language." "So what did you do?" asked Hannah. "It was the kindness of our friends that got us through," said Dada John. "And," he said, twinkling at Hannah, "it probably helped that your Daddy John was happy to feed the neighbors the best butter chicken in the world." That evening, when Hannah thought about her Ramadan, she was sad. First, she got in trouble after helping Maria. Then she did the right thing trying to help Danny, but she felt sad that nobody knew. And she was ashamed about how she did not want to play with Sarah at first. It was the last day of Ramadan. Sunset during Ramadan is called iftar, said Sarah. "That's right," said Darajan. At iftar, we break our fast. And when the sun sets on the last day of Ramadan, it's Eid al-Fitr celebration, Hannah exclaimed. Darajan smiled. Do you think you made the world a better place by helping your neighbors this Ramadan? I tried, Hannah responded, but I don't think it worked. I wouldn't be so sure about that, said Darajan. The sun was shining the next day. It was finally Eid. Hannah and her family headed to the mosque for Eid prayer. The mosque, like their home, was decorated with Ramadan lights, and the air was filled with the wonderful aroma of her favorite Eid desserts. After Eid prayer, they visited the cemetery to remember Darajan and their other loved ones. They got home for their Eid party just as their guests started pouring in, exclaiming, Eid Mubarak! Hannah's whole world was here to celebrate Eid. Her cousins from out of town, her friends who attended a church across the street, the neighbors who attended a synagogue right by their mosque, the Sikh family who ran the soup kitchen at the local Gurdwara. Everyone was hugging her and saying, Eid Mubarak, Hannah. They ate delicious khair, gulab jamans, and jalebis. They hugged and laughed. Race you to the last gulab jaman, said Darajan. But Hannah had something else on her mind. How do I really know if I help the world this Ramadan, Darajan? Well, let's see. Did you help your friends when they needed you? Hannah thought about Maria. Yes. Did you help others simply out of love? Hannah nodded as she thought about Danny's globe. And did you show love to those who had no one else? I think so, said Hannah as she thought about Sarah. Then you have your answer, said Darajan. It would still be many years before Hannah would fast for Ramadan. But she helped her neighbors, her world, and that made this the best Eid ever.